Good evening and welcome to episode 21 of the podcast Get It Forward. Tonight we're up at Hallam FC and we're with their current manager and serial promotion winner.
Serial promotion winner, yeah.
Serial promotion winner.
And we're at bottom of hill.
Yeah, we're downhill, so we're alright.
Yeah.
Cricket might come in. But
Yeah, we might have a ball through window in a bit like, but yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Denton.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on, Dave.
No problem.
Right, man. I know you've probably watched a few in your busy schedule, mate. But we've enjoyed them.
Oh,
Been
yes.
mentioned a few times, well.
Yeah, fell asleep on a couple of parts. Yeah, Danny Patson fell asleep quite about 18 minutes
Sounds
in.
fair.
I
Sounds
haven't
fair.
watched that one
No,
yet.
I don't watch South.
Yeah, but I've seen a few, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one mention coming off Tom.
Yeah, Clay's got a good mention for you, mate, as well, so that'll be released this week. So, as always, mate, you know, we would like to start. Obviously, we know what you've achieved in these last few years at both Worksop and Hallam, mate, and obviously we'll come on to them and moving forward, expectations and life in step 4, what that'll bring for the club as well.
Yeah.
But first of all, where did it all start for your love at game and football in general?
To be honest, and I've watched a lot of podcasts where players will talk about like their journey in terms of like being released from a pro club going into non-league. I totally didn't have that. Basically, I'm not good enough to play at that particular level. Played a little bit of county senior football on Saturdays. Played Sunday league, managed Sunday league teams. But I was coaching at Sheffield Wednesday Academy, doing their under 13s in the Dome, and Worksop Town under Mark Shaw, who was a manager.
Yeah.
They used to come on after us, so the academy used to finish and they used to book their first team slot. And after a couple of weeks, I just remember Sherry saying, if you fancy getting involved and do a little bit of coaching for me, I'm like, yeah. And then I ended up going down to Worksop, doing a few coaching sessions. Probably more of a bit of a balls, bibs and cones sort of thing, helping out. And then that's where it just sort of, that journey in terms of non-league. The coaching was all...
What brought you into that then, coaching? Did you always have a bit of a passion for...
Yeah, so I was working at Sheffield Wednesday's community programme.
Okay.
So we're doing a lot of like in-school football coaching. I was getting involved with the under 8s, under 9s at the academy. Sort of at college, did sports coaching. I was always like wanting to be more like coach, manager, like doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Working on match days at Sheffield Wednesday, so we used to have like the traditional like ground tours and like kids' birthday parties.
Yeah.
So I was very like heavily involved with that whilst working at Sheffield Wednesday. So like Saturday football weren't really an option. I was working.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just all about sort of like coaching, and just being a little bit lucky on the way through and building up some good relationships. And being honest.
It's quite like a unique way, I suppose, isn't it? I think like we just spoke before we put camera on, didn't we, about sort of pathways and people getting into football, and it tends to be we've had, what we're on 20. This is a 21st episode, and 80-90% of them have been academies potentially, and then into pro game and then back out.
Whether it were under 13s and 15s.
Yeah, it always revolved around playing game, I suppose. But obviously your story is completely
totally
unique, really. Like it was more about the coaching side and the managerial side.
Playing Sundays, and I just like there were at a time I used to manage a team, Rotherham Sunday League team at Westfield. I think I'm about 18, 19. And I enjoyed them all, like the coaching, the managing, doing all that sort of stuff. And yeah, just sort of got evolved from there. Like got involved like an under-21s team, and just.
Were it always going to be more about Mr. football? Because I think they've got patience to say it's like managers of junior football.
Yeah.
You do it more of like teenagers, like these ones that look after 7s and 8-year-olds. It's like carnage in it.
Well,
I didn't get involved till under 12.
Yeah.
For that reason, I couldn't.
It's just bedlam, isn't it? Like,
stop, stand still.
Yeah.
No, stop.
Yeah.
No, stop.
Stop talking. Yeah.
I think
listen.
Stop flicking each other.
Yeah.
Like involving like under 8s, under 9s at an academy feels a little bit different than a grassroots.
Yeah.
But I was managing a Sunday team of my mates, really, lads paying a £5 subs to play, and I just sort of like enjoyed that like organisation of it, and like or like setting up a team, and
I also think because I did Old Town in Barnsley.
Yeah.
And there were 4 years between us.
Yeah.
16 lads. So we'd be out boozing Friday, Saturday, playing all together on Sunday.
Yeah.
Possibly the hardest decisions you've ever made.
Yeah.
Just do your mates. I'm trying to get somebody purposely bladdered, so I've got an excuse to drop it. Do you know what I mean?
You have another one there.
Yeah, I have another.
Yeah.
And I think that
Or
was...
open the other leg.
Yeah, overlaid, or yeah. But I imagine that probably set you in good stead for this now, when they are having to make them difficult decisions.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're doing it with your mates...
Oh, else after that's easy?
Yeah.
Or easier?
Easier,
Yeah.
Because I think you have, you know, your mates, you have that respect, and you ring them up on might have been a Saturday night, or you see them early on a Sunday morning and say, listen, and you build that sort of that decision making and questioning and your excuse just fills you up ready to what I deal with now is grown men who are getting paid.
Yeah.
So you're right. He does set you up for that.
Yeah. I think it does. I think it's
hard,
especially if you're a successful one, because people are available, aren't they?
Yeah.
When you're not successful, you've got 11.
True.
When you're winning 14, 15,
they're all there. Yeah. It's strange because I've not been in that football circle in terms of a player. That chat on a Friday night before that game on a Saturday, that like, are totally alien to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when I speak to players about, like, in my first year of managing, like when you're going forward and backwards about money and stuff, like that was sort of like, well, just don't feel right, because I've never experienced it as a player.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
All that sort of toughness, looking after number one.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
You've not had that. You've not been us to say to a gaffer,
can you squeeze another
10?
Yeah.
No, you're.
And I think, do you know, like moving, because you've not had that non-league or like step 5, step 6, step 4 football under your belt, has it made it more difficult to recruit, do you think, especially in your early days, because you were unknown?
Yeah. Definitely. I thought I got lucky. I always say I got lucky in that first like year or two. Built up really good relationships, and obviously when I was assistant with Kendo at Workshop, and then I got the Renif job. Like, there was a couple of lads who weren't getting in the Workshop team or didn't really like what was happening. You know, like they were like Kyle Jordan and Vanks, like good players.
Yeah.
And they like sort of just bought into coming to Renif and like playing. Yeah. So, but I think that comes from being a good person as well.
Yeah, relationships. But
yeah, it's not as hard now, because obviously I've won a couple of promotions, I'm at a good club, got a good fan base.
Yeah.
But certainly when I left, when I first come to Hallam, I thought to myself, I'll be all right. I'll just like sign a few Workshop lads, sign a few Renif lads, and that it were different. The recruitment were really difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does have its ups and downs. Like.
Yeah. Because like I always think, like, it's weird, isn't it? Because you come up against players, and you've played against so many, you remember a lot, don't you? Yeah. You know, and you think, if I ever got a managerial job, he'd be a good fit for me. I like him. Or little black boy just write a name down. He's decent lad. He's a decent lad. I don't know what it could boil down to anyway, doesn't it? Where location and money and stuff. But
like my black book that says he terrorised me. He terrorised me.
do you know what I mean? Like, because you've just been in that bubble for so long.
Yeah.
So like we played for I signed at Grantham when I was 20 and played up until 40 with Denton.
Yeah.
So you've got 20 years of playing against lads haven't you? And
yeah.
If there's any like negative to it, all really good lads who we used to play against are all 40 odd now, so they're no good to you now, like, unless you take other 35s at Penistone. But so I was just wondering, like, and it was just a genuine question.
Definitely, like, I remember sort of like, I think I rang Jamie Price. I think Price, who were at Scarborough at the time.
Yeah.
And like I rang him, to try and get him in, you know, to come down to workshop. And you sort of like, I know about him. I've seen what he's all about in terms of watching a few games and, you know, Twitter and all that sort of jazz. So, like, he don't know me from Adam and Eve. Like, so that was a bit of a
what year
challenge. So 2018, 19, I think it was.
Yeah.
When you think about this, say that when you were at Renfrew.
I'm awful with dates. So when
might have been a bit before that, wouldn't it?
What was the year between
us and Workshop?
Yeah.
2018, 19,
2018, 19.
I think Renfrew for you were maybe a year or two before, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so like 2015, 2016, something like that seems about right. Yeah.
Reason I'm asking, and it's not a disrespectful thing, but obviously I dropped out in the league. I was working at Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Then I see somebody of Craig Denton getting these jobs, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know him. Yeah. You know, going back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely. He must have moved to area or he's done some. Yeah. But from outside looking in, you just think, has he got that job or?
And you know what?
Because I kept in touch with
his mum and dad put money into the club. you wonder, don't you?
But it's probably a bit of naivety on everybody else's part, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Because it seems to go in circles, doesn't it, with managers, even in professional game, and people don't do very well and then seem to flag up again somewhere else and get a job, and you think, how is this happening?
One,
it's just like a rotate. We'll give him a go. So to have someone actually that you went, I've heard of him before, like, it's like a bit different, isn't it? Like, and like I say, it's. Did you go in as a Kendo's assistant then after? Did you just?
So I was balls, bibs and cones with Showy and Sharky, you know, Chris Adams. Yep. And then Poltz got the Shirebrook job. He was a manager. He got it. Russ Eagles, I think, had an operation, couldn't do it at Shirebrook, and he asked me to go in as his assistant. And it didn't really work out. We were both quite naive in terms of bringing in players and stuff.
That link come from Chef Wednesday?
No. So yes. Poltz, who I've worked at Sheffield Wednesday with and his friends, when he got the job at Shirebrook, he wanted somebody who's currently in the NCL or in and around it. And I thought, well, that's a bit of a step up for me. We quickly worked out that he was definitely a better coach than me. And I was a better manager in terms of dealing with players and budgets and organisation. Then he got called, he got relieved of his duties. Collie took over. Collie asked me to stay on. I just, you know what it's like, you don't. Not because it was Collie.
But I've been saying, yes, Carl.
Yeah,
I'll stay on.
He ran
me to sign. I saw his hand come out.
But like that, just it were perfectly done. Like in terms of like a bit of a wake up call, and sort of like this is like real football. You know, you lose games, you lose your job, sort of thing. So me and Pulse, look, we learnt loads from that. And then Kendo was like, Showy's moved on. Can you just come and help me out? I'm in net. I need somebody in dugout helping out. And I used to say to him, well, we'll make this change. We'll do this. We'll do that.
Would that have been Northern Counties Prem then at the time? No, it would have been not.
Northern Counties Prem. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
So we thought, got a bit of a chance getting a job here. We didn't get it. It was, I think there were Ryan Ainley and Duncan Milligan who got the job after us in a little bit of a and then I went to
Ryan were here, weren't it?
Yeah.
Ryan from here to Worksop,
yeah. Ryan sort of rang me and said, you know, just be careful with the chairman, and I didn't listen to him. But Worksop town chairman. I think he's Paul Williams, his name. Literally, just rinsed the club. Like I can remember even going for an interview after. I was at the did Renner for a full season.
Yeah, just tell us about Renner because you had some good lads there.
Oh yeah, cracking.
The other side, didn't you?
Yeah.
And like a good win with there, weren't he? And
Yeah.
Were Kyle playing up front? Kyle Jordan, were you there?
Kyle Jordan, Matty Sykes, Townsend in goal.
Townsend mentioned it, actually, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
So like I said, I reached out to Townsend like, well, not got a workshop job. Like I've got that hunger now to like see if I can.
How did that one come about, that Reneth job?
Just speaking to Ben, to Townsend, he was like, Gaffer's not taking it on next season. And I said, oh, look, if there's an interview process, let me know. Tell the chairman that I'm interested. And if I'm being honest, I thought, I'm going to drive all the way to Reneth. And
There's going to be someone.
there's loads in there. There's loads.
Yeah.
There's loads. All from that area, like AFC, Gaffer's there, Mansfield. And you're thinking, there's Heena.
You're driving past a lot of clubs up there.
Clipston, all them. So, and met Les, chairman. A good, like a little nice little small club, but like really ran well. I thought he interviewed really well. Had a good chat, and they offered it me, and I was like buzzing.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take it. And
A bit different now, wouldn't it?
totally.
If you went for an interview.
Yeah.
Just because of what you've achieved.
Um,
Do you think you'd be more feeling the pressure a little bit and thinking, you know, like with Reneth, when you were thinking, I'm not even
got a chance.
not a
I was
chance.
begging for a job though,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just being honest and
But now,
Yeah.
but now do you think you'd, not saying you'd interview different, but would you think that like, you'd have a good chance?
Yeah.
More of a good chance
And I
than
would
because of what you've done.
I think I'd interview better in terms of like I'd ask questions.
Yeah.
And I'd
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I imagine there were no question. You know, like,
No,
I mean,
yeah.
like
Can you do it on 300 quid a week? Yeah. Can you do it on 200 quid? Yeah. Yeah. Can do it. Yeah. Can we have a good cup run? Yeah. You'll have that as well. I like.
yeah, you got to sort your own training venue out.
Yeah, no problem. I'll pay for it.
We're just trying to get back in, lad.
Just trying to get back in.
Yeah.
And
Final question: Would you see how you pump these balls?
they're pumping away. Yeah. And there was obviously a good surplus of players already there, like Sykes, Townsend, a few good local players, and I just added.
Did you have Danny Bacon there for a while? Did he play there when you were there?
No,
He were at Reneth for a bit though, weren't you? I wonder if that were a different.
Did you sign for Crowell?
Yeah,
No, that's Deck.
That's dead.
Oh, Danny Bacon on
Oh,
my
yeah,
ex
play
player
it
up
up
Milan works up in that.
Yeah,
I just thought he'd play for you that.
we had some just like really honest, like hard working lads, like
Planty there, wasn't he? I think he mentioned Planty.
Townsend.
yeah. And those, but like lads who just take 30 quid,
Yeah.
like 30, 40 quid. Well, most lads didn't take that, played for free.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we had best tracksuits in the league. Honestly, Kappa tracksuits,
Okay,
like
good,
wheels,
that's
like
Unbelievable.
Budget just went on track. But and
Big training venue.
it's only one of probably the seasons where I've really enjoyed it. You know, like being in dugout and like having not pressure, but it would just rate good. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean wins are always great, aren't they? But I bet your wins there because you lads were doing it. Someone for now were like, fucking hell. Especially if you turned over a decent side as well.
Yeah.
Who came down and you thought these things are going to turn us over here and you beat sides.
We finished like 10th, 11th or something like that at end of season, and I think we took three or four points off the AFC Mansfield and Wardy, and like Wardy and Rudy. Really fun. Wow, absolutely fantastic. What a legend! He is a legend. And they're like, why don't you play like that every week? Like, because I think we beat them at our place, or we drew or something, so they didn't win league or whatever it was. And lads have got that more fire in the belly when they're coming up against a side who you think, look at these here.
Good side, local derby.
Yeah.
Expected to lose probably.
Yeah. And we played.
We've all done it. We've all been in them games.
So we cried. I had Nathan the desk.
I was twice here there for there, weren't it?
Yeah. Also, Nathan the desk away at Pontefract. He rings me. He says, "What time's meeting?" I said, "We're meeting at 1:30, mate." Well,
Like every week.
Yeah, like every week. Gates are locked. I went, they're not there. I'm like stood outside gates now. He went, where at? I went, at Ponte. He went, are we not at home? I went, no, Nathan, we're not at home.
Oh dear.
We're away. and he come on in second half away at Ponce. So yeah, we had some really good players. But coming up to we was at Emsworth with about 3 or 4 games left. Leslie, chairman, pulls me and says, just a quick one, have you got 2 minutes? I said, yeah, I've got 2 minutes. He says, committee, we had a meeting last night, and we've decided we're going to resign from the league. I went, all right, because we're all ready for like next season.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at that stage you're already thinking, well.
So we beat Emsworth, then it's Thackeray last game of season, and I've had to set it lads like, look, just to let you know, we're done, going out, like, and I got an envelope with some money in it. I had to give it out. There weren't even the budget in the envelope away at Thackeray, which I thought were a bit rubbish, to be fair.
Yeah.
Lads have travelled, and then I think we took Pember with net. A few people just had a bit of a laugh and a giggle and a few beers after the game, and then that went like end of Rennes journey. Which was a bit sad, to be fair.
Yeah, which is when you've just 2 minutes ago spoke so highly about how easy and how
enjoyable
it were to then finish on that sour note.
Yeah.
Real.
And I think you'll know that now more than ever, that when you're investing so much time into developing a squad, and the signing for peanuts, the least you can do is give them lads money. And I know it's been well documented that there's clubs at step 5 and step 4 and step 6 that have not done that, and that to me is like a complete and utter no-no, because if I'm asking a player to sign for me, I'm sure you're at same dance, it's for an amount of money, and if you're 18th it's that, and if you're 6th it's that, and if you're 1st it's that.
Yeah, there's no budget cuts at Christmas. No. That's what I think, touch wood, like I've been really fortunate to be involved with clubs who have always been honest, always paid the lads. You know, like up here, you know, no, like, no, it's next week to pay lads. We have cash flow problems. You offer the players the money, and that's what they get.
Because even though it's coming from, because if it did happen, it's coming from the club. It still reflects on you, doesn't it? 100%. Which is unfair.
Yeah.
I think that's any manager in league.
And you get that next job. When we're going to get paid then.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what happened.
Having them conversations.
Me and Paul's couldn't recruit anybody for Shirebrook.
No.
Because they were like, they don't pay. They miss money and and I know I've seen a lot of it on Twitter this season.
It's not right, is it?
So your next Shirebrook manager, or like, it's a tough ask, because you're going to go, can you come sign me? I go, I've got 300 quid for you. Am I going to get it?
That?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that, you know, if a club's not got the greatest of budget, and I played at Stocksbridge for 9 years, and it weren't the greatest of budget, but if I were 15th, I got what I signed for.
Yeah.
If I were top, I got what I signed for, and that goes a long way for me.
Definitely.
That goes a hell of a long way. That's probably why I stayed there for so many years, because I trusted people in and around the club, and you sound like you've got that here.
Definitely.
As well, like, you know, so, you know.
Yeah.
So from Rennes, having that
23 quid between 16 months.
That's what it was, mate,
Shandy Basses in Golden.
We went to applied for the workshop job. After that, got it, and then an unbelievable season.
Were you surprised that you got it?
A little bit, but there was a little bit of me that I'd already been involved with the couple of times. And then again, the chairman, Paul Williams, who took over, which was just like the weirdest interview process. I met him 3 or 4 times. He offered me the job. 6 weeks later, he still hadn't announced it. It was just like absolutely mental. And I remember ringing Wayne Thompson and going, I don't think we should do it. He's like, why? I went, there's something just in my belly, just don't sit right. This is something a bit dodgy, just a bit weird.
Especially I think on back of what you just had.
Yeah.
At end of the season,
and Wayne always been with Rennes as well, like.
Yeah, Wayne came in as a scout, helping me out, watching a few games.
Yeah.
There's not a non-league player we don't know, and sort of club and stuff. And he came in at Rennes and with Polts. Had a couple of sort of first team coaches over the last few years. But yeah,
But were you just a bit unsure about it then?
Yeah, just really
it's
unsure.
It's a long time that, innit, from being offered.
Oh.
So what's all that about?
I just remember.
Yeah.
Well, the guy who's like, I think people fraud and embezzlement and stuff, which the Worktop Town was still looking for this bloke who took it on. And our Pete came in and literally saved the football club. After I left, it was just really strange. I remember him saying, "Oh, we're gonna meet Ronnie Glavin."
Yeah, Ronnie Glavin.
I remember like meeting Ronnie Glavin over like burger and chips and stuff, and he was like asking me what formation I'm going to play, and then I'm looking to the chairman going, "Have I not got a job there?" I'm thinking I didn't know what was happening, honestly. And then is it Ron Reid at United?
Yeah.
Like I met him and all. It was just mental. But by all accounts, they're supposed to have spoke to Richard, Wayne, Ben, other. So
definitely spoke to Richard.
Yeah. So I don't know if I were second, third pickings. I don't know whatever that was. But then we started off pre-season.
I also think of the 6-week thing, because you're ringing people and saying, "I've got work set job."
They kept saying, "You're not announced, Dan. You're not been announced."
Yeah, how long into like close season was this?
Oh, this was literally end of the season.
Yeah.
A week in, I'm speaking to Worktop Town within a week or two.
Okay.
So I still had time on my hands in terms of bringing players in.
Yeah.
But like when you're trying to get your backroom team, some of the players like.
Not seen that. Not seen that.
Like fucking.
I have.
I promise. Right then, stop playing champ manager. Like, I've got it. I've sat down with him and that.
I've got even that Worktop Town.
I've met like Ronnie Glavin and that. And they go, yeah, I haven't, mate. They're like, okay, he's got curly hair and all that. Like literally, it would. And then they did announce it. Pre-season starts. I ended up buying like footballs, bibs and cones. Literally, waited months and months to get the money back.
By this time, the supporters still like wait a bit as well.
Yeah.
Because they've always been renowned for like excellent support, but there were a period of time when it were like a lot of turn the back.
Oh, literally. So gets a job. Pre-season comes. We've got Sheffield United under 23s. Played about 15-20 minutes and losing 2-0. There's just literally about 3 or 4 Workshop fans have gone bang on dugout. I've gone like, that's okay. If this job is too big for you, Dent, you need to fuck off now. I'm thinking, I'm losing 3-0 in pre-season. Like what
pro side?
What exactly? Yeah, they're popping it about for fun.
And the money announced I've got a job 2 minutes.
Literally.
And
that time when I think the difference between Reneth, Shirebrook, whatever. I'm a proper football player here.
Yeah.
It was demands. And you know, we started off okay at the beginning of that season, and then obviously we did all that, winning 22 games on bounce and stuff. But that was covering everything up.
Said to Danny Patterson, "We're looking brush over this."
Let's move on next. But I used to ring like Wayne and he used to answer the phone. Go on, what's he done now? And he's talking about his chair. I'm like, oh, what bullshit has he got for you today?
Yeah.
And the only reason why we stayed there is because we was winning. Any other time, I would have just gone, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mental. It's crazy.
I mean, the run though, Dan. I mean, I joke about it because to be a part of it were good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not shy about it. Pat O weren't shy about it. There were a lot of, I wouldn't say animosity, but there were definitely rivalry, weren't there, between us?
Definitely.
We'd have like phone calls coming into the clubhouse and we'd bring you up, wouldn't we? And that when we'd having a curry and
or
that.
Pizzas or something
like Cuds had said it tonight, asking why he's not answering my phone calls now at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I want to ring him every Sunday morning, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was great to be involved in. And I mean, the game we played at your spot when all them came turned out, it was like a proper professional game. It was just ridiculous.
I remember coming out of change rooms and I think there were like 3 or 4 coaches of your lot turned up, and I'm like, oh, this is. The only time I felt that is when we had when we show it and they had Taddy turn up, Tadcaster Albion. Like
they brought a few with them, haven't they?
Yeah, and like, do you know when you think, oh, there's a bit of a bounce, a bit of a feel to it, and then when your supporters come in, like proper singing in voice, weren't they? Like,
it was a proper good game, right?
Because there's that picture, that big picture where you can see all that.
It was great. It was great to be a part of it. Like it was. it was one of them like where you sort of hairs were on the back of your neck when you came out because like it was a big game as well because I really thought at that point in time whoever won that were going up.
Yeah.
We'd have either burst your bubble and your might have gone. We'd have had them legs and obviously it turned out other way, didn't it? But
well, I'm sure one of your supporters or someone at the club put something out like the law of averages, where law of averages.
including someone on Twitter because they drop us in it quite regularly.
And literally I went, perfect, teamed up, done. I went, lads, just remember, law of averages, we might lose today, law of averages, but we might win. And you were like, it's, no, like, to go 22 games on the bounce of winning.
And gone to some tough sides as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Like Bochester were up there, weren't they, at the time and stuff? And
well, we was.
You 2-0 down there? 1-3-2 in last.
Yeah, we're losing 2-0 at half time. And again, I'm getting some pellets from workshop fans. I went, all right, calm down.
15 up bounce.
Yeah, steady on a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
still too big for you.
That I always watch that clip where Sykesy like crosses it and like I think Banks gets on end of it and it's just
someone has videoed it from
scenes
where Sykes were taking free kick from the right behind him.
Yeah.
And then everybody drove into the crowd, didn't they? And
honestly, I watched that and I literally I fill up a bit. Like it gets me every time, and I think that's why Pottersford absolutely can't stand me and hate me. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's. I mean, fucking sod's law weren't it? There were no playoffs then. We'd have probably gone and won playoffs, wouldn't we? Like, but it weren't to be. But like people say, we did all right that season, and we had a good run in as well. Like we probably would have dropped 6 points, but it was 6 too many. Like you know what I mean? It was just phenomenal how they just went on that run. And I know we'll come on to it a bit, but something very, very similar this year.
Yeah.
Because that's a turn at Christmas you will probably nowhere near.
We're looking other way, and that's not no. Like I'm thinking, we just need to win a couple more, just so we're not there.
Yeah. Going back to that 22 win run though.
I will fucking annoying.
Yeah, I know a few.
Especially when they're coming off that game.
And we've all, as players, managers, we've all been on them. We had one of us with this team season, 15 will be not winning, but you're almost discussing between yourselves. I think it might be today.
Yeah, you've got it in your head.
Yeah,
you've got it in your head.
I think it'll be today.
We're going to have a bad game,
Or,
but just because you are.
Or let's make sure lads don't turn up.
Just because you are so good at 16 that if he didn't get your heart at shit, he did. 100%. And if he didn't, he fucking did.
Yeah. It was
because that's how I felt we all like. You've got obviously Sykes who were a match win on his day. Yeah. But if he didn't, you had Macca, didn't you? At top end of the pitch, and he would have got a goal. And lad you signed from. They were at AFC Mansfield and that older lad up front.
Craig Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'd have got you a goal.
Yeah. Just they all cared.
Yeah.
They all like really cared about like turning up and working hard.
Yeah.
And like just after the game, you just know, lads staying. Lads come on, it's like shutting up time. Bars closed now. Lads are still staying in there.
Yeah.
You've got that togetherness, that group.
Do you think, or was the the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, did that seep into the squad? No.
Totally kept it away from them. Totally kept it away from them. I literally, I took it literally all on my shoulders. Like I used to. Well, when it came to an end, again, players ringing and texting me, not being paid right, X, Y, and Z. When I did leave. I know Danny Pat said I got sacked twice on his podcast, by the way, which is absolutely incorrect. I did text him as well and say categorically I did not get the sack. Well, why would I? Because I just got promoted, played for 1-2, lost 2. So like it weren't like nothing could change.
No.
And I just remembered I was doing a PE lesson at school. And I went to the toilet, looked in my locker, I must have had about 30 missed calls, loads of text message, not being paid right, not da-da. I said, and I just rang Paul and went, I'm just going to resign today. He went, all right, well, we'll put a nice tweet about you and stuff like that. I went, He went, yeah, no, that brilliant. You've done everything great for the club. And what that was, he knew that I found him out. He'd been lying to me continuously, and he couldn't lie to me anymore. So his get out was, if Craig moves on, I'm all right. I can start that lie up against somebody else. So people like a Carl Jordan who went and did the job, works up through and through, and there was Steve Woolley and a couple of others. I said to him, like, get ready. And they were like, I don't know what you mean, like, everything's hunky-dory. Eventually they do find out, and he leaves club. I think he's took about £250,000 from Worksop Town, and Pete's come in and sorted it all out, which is great. But yeah, I kept it away from him.
Yeah.
I kept it away from him.
I didn't know if you got other way and said, look, this is what's going off, and it galvanised you. But if you took it all on yourself, kept it away from
because we was winning.
I was about to say that. I get players.
Yeah.
You didn't know that bubble.
Yeah.
And just and like doing so well. And
you want to be successful as a squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd be the same.
Yeah.
Which must have been tough.
Oh, it would.
Because you feel like you're keeping something from your lads, don't you? But it was for their benefit, really, weren't it? Like, because I suppose you could have gone in after 12 games winning and gone, lads, this is happening. You could have lost 5, 6, 7, maybe.
Yeah. I just think one of them, like when you're saying you're 2-0 down at half time, and you're having a pop and you just think, at some point it might have slipped out. And this bastard. You know what I mean? Or that's.
I suppose you were close a couple of times. Yeah, I suppose we were close a couple of times.
Yeah. You see me up, like our last used to be like.
But one of them, like, because I know, like, you obviously go home, you're a family man anyway, like, and you win your games, have a beer with lads, go home, have a glass at home, like, it's
glass of red.
And
Chinese.
That was that, like, do you last one night that somewhere? For just in case.
Yeah.
So easy, innit, just to go bump. Oh, fuck, I've said that.
Yeah. Literally, I did it. I turned it off a few times.
Yeah. Best way to be in it, like, shut off from it.
But like, I literally I rang him and said, look, that's it, and he didn't even say like, do you fancy staying? He just knew. He knew that I've been lying to him, and like, he knows what's what. And Kyle and that they did great. And I thought, right, that's it. I'm having some time out at the game. I think the third week in, I'll go and watch Barton Town at home against Albion Sports.
Forgot about that.
I saw their chairman, had a little chat. I think I had about 4 or 5 Strongbow dark fruits. Wayne were driving at the time, and he just said, would you be interested? There was another guy there who helps out at the club, who's got a connection with Sheffield, and they were like, oh, would you be interested in applying? But I'm thinking, right, I'll have to go home, write CV. He went, no, we'll have a chat now. So, all right, what now? Like, yeah. So, so just sits in the changing room, and we had a chat. This was before they played Albion Sports. I went to the pub before kick-off, come back, and he says, congratulations, we want to appoint you as manager today after the game. I'm brilliant. that literally we're it. Just a bit weird.
Good club.
Brilliant club.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of his notes on players that playing.
Well, it's gone, look, that's your budget. This is what we pay now. Like, great.
I'll look at that tomorrow.
I think I'll look at that tomorrow.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks down the line, he's gone, we're paying a little bit too much out. So my first week about a manager was ringing all the players up, trying to get them on less money.
Right.
That was week number 1. Craig Disley, ex-Grimsby town player.
Yeah.
There was loads of them. I was ringing up with, I know you're on 150, but can we get you down to 120? So I literally, like, what's this kid coming from Sheffield? Nobody knows him, which is the best thing I've ever done, is being a Barton town manager. I didn't know anyone. It was a proper fresh start, challenge.
That's a comfort zone, away from everything.
I didn't have any of that like sort of crap on Twitter. Didn't, and it was brilliant. We really good ran football club, and they should really be knocking on doors.
Yeah, they always strike me as a lot of good people involved there at that club.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
when you play there, they're welcoming, they're nice people. They seem,
Yeah.
you know, they're like a well-run club, and
Yeah.
not pitch don't help them out sometimes because it all us to death, doesn't it? Like, but it's a nice facility.
You can see that as a step forward.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I had a chance to go as a player.
Did you?
Yeah.
Warwick Anderson.
Yes.
Yeah. With Paul Ellis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when I leave in Ponty, he said, "Do you want to come?"
It was too far up here.
Just to on my own.
Yeah.
I'm then trying to say, well, we're about so and so. Like, oh, we just need you. And
Just yeah.
But I agree with you. Like, it's one of them that should be like top 6, shouldn't it, at least.
Yeah.
Top 5.
And again, really well run. Lads get paid on time. They book out training facility. You know where you stand. And then it was when sort of like the first so COVID took over. I know Steve, the old chairman here at Hallam, and he just reached out and said, "Oh, we're having a change. We're having a new chairman coming in. How's things at Barton?" And I just was like, "Yeah, it's good." I went, "You're not looking for a manager, eh? Because I'm Sheffield." I'm like, "Yeah, we're interested." Spoke to them and then got that job. And I had Rob Watson, who was my assistant at the time.
Yeah.
At Barton, and he took over, and he's from Scunny, so it worked all. It was great.
What club like?
Nicest blokes on planet.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What club like were you at Barton, like when you went in and get up news or
I ranked chair.
understood?
Totally get it.
Yeah.
Mrs. were pregnant with Olivia, and I just said, at least I was just honest. I just said, I've loved it, but Hallam, 15-20 minutes away from me, living at Mosborough at the time. Wife's pregnant, Lucy's pregnant. And he like, "Thanks for letting us know nice and early.
Yeah.
Would you
There's
help
a
us?"
good opportunity, like,
Yeah.
Had you taken anybody on player-wise from this way?
Literally, when I took over, no. And in about 4 or 5 weeks, I got Chris Sol and Wade Fairless.
So only a couple. Yeah, so it's not like you left him in Maya taking a complete side with you.
Yeah.
Is that because there weren't enough movement in that budget for like lads from Sheffield to travel that distance like as well?
They had a good budget. As soon as you go, "I'm Barton town manager," they go, "What is that in all?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, so then you're always paying that extra 40, 50, 60 quid.
Yeah.
And I just said, and I wouldn't do that to Barton, because what I said in my interview was, I'm not just going to get a coach load of Sheffield players and bring them all to play Bart. You know, they had some good players like Matty Plummer, Craig Disley, like Ben Hinchcliffe, like good Northern Counties players.
Yeah.
Because we've had it, haven't we? We've had this with a lot of people on podcast and just as only things, and we've been in change rooms where it'd been the whole lads sit there, Sheffield lads sit there.
Yeah.
When they sit there.
Yeah.
But we're at the week.
It was
Tom last week, wasn't it? When you were at Bradford Park Camp.
Yes. Yeah, he had Mank lads,
many buses of Scousers and many buses of Manx.
and then a few Yorkshire lads in Corner.
They didn't speak.
Yeah. Yes. He's
No good is that?
No good at all. And I think you look at someone like, yourself like Pennison, Stocksbridge, like that togetherness.
Yeah.
That
We've said this, haven't we? It gets you 10, 15 points.
Does it?
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, it's the challenge with that is just because of money being thrown about is just keeping people happy in it, like, and sort of trying to sell fun and the club, being a family club, and come up and bring your lads up and kids up for a drink, and they'll be safe, and it's a good place to be, and you just hope that a lot of lads buy into it and enjoy the football, don't you? Like, which obviously has come off, like,
especially this day and age. In the last couple of weeks, some lads got squad numbers 47, 48 in some clubs.
Like Northern Counties one.
What's your squad number? 85.
Yeah.
I'll play.
I think it's what we get here. Like that family feel. Like Mrs. She didn't really come to a lot of the games in terms of when I was managing.
Yeah.
But now, like he, the chairman and his wife, Richard and Katrina, the club. Like Olivia's always in here on a match day, and at the end of the game, kids are playing on pitch.
It's brilliant to see it like,
And I think that has to tick a lot of boxes for
It does,
a player.
and it helps you as well, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely.
It helps you as well, like, you know.
When you've got 600-700 people, fans like watching, and you're like, well, fancy that.
And if wives are happy, kids can come.
Happy wife.
It's
happy wife.
Yeah,
Is that the one?
it keeps them sweeter, doesn't it? Like, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
they deserve a medal anyway, don't they? Like, with how much time you spend. But
You're not ringing from clubhouse saying, I'm just going to have one more.
Yeah.
If you want to order Chinese, I'll get it on my way home.
Yeah.
At least she's with you.
yeah, she can pick me up out of the taxi.
Yeah.
You're right.
But it's like kids said, like, because obviously our young and ball girls now up at the club, and I'll ask them, have you enjoyed it? And she said, oh, it's brilliant up there, it's a very good club and that, everybody's very friendly. There's only my dad really that swears. But she's great.
Sit there for ages.
She's great. So that come about then here then, mate, I think, well, there'd have been North East Counties 1. So that'd have been a drop down level then for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Barton would have been Prem.
So if you think I've like,
Evo Steep.
yeah. So I've gone like, right, Northern Counties Prem, 1 into step 4 with Worksop, drop that down to Northern Counties Prem with Barton,
Yeah.
and then gone, I'm going to go Northern Counties Division 1 and start going to the likes of Swallowness.
All that work and I'm back with a started sort of thing.
Yeah. But I genuinely thought to myself, I could make this my own. Does that make sense? Like, make it my own, like a bit of stamp on it, and really have some direction.
What went it for you?
There's an amalgamation of like Ryan Ironley, Whippy, I think Batesy did a bit, Banff.
They're all, yeah. So.
There was, and there are some good lads playing. And to be fair, people who say like, years ago when there were 70, 80 people watching, like when you were playing.
Yeah.
1975.
74. somebody sent me some pictures the other day and he said,
What, in black and white?
Black and white, yeah, he said, this is my granddad. I can't what he just says, this is my granddad. We showed you, like, right now, his granddad is a footballer, and he says, I was just wondering if your dad knew him. I said, my dad? I said, I played it same year. And you're like, I didn't know that like, you played year below. Brilliant, yeah.
But you're right though, Denton, it's a bit of a fortress now because of that support.
Yeah.
What was it like when you took over?
It's hundreds.
100,
Yeah.
10, 20, 30.
Although it can work against you, can't it?
It can. Yeah, it is a bit of a worry for me because I think when you've had success at a football club, in terms of in the club itself and supporters, that they're used to winning.
Yeah.
Promotion,
There's
a
got
couple
to be
of times.
realisation now of where we're at, what is success.
Yeah. And I just hope, and I think they will. I think the supporters will understand that.
When you took over, were it? I'm never going to say we can't fail, but were it a good time for you to come in?
Yeah, a good time.
Are you almost going back to that Renner thing?
Yes.
It's like fresh slate, it's fresh.
Yeah. So Richard, who took
not
over,
I can do what I want.
No.
I can.
Richard, who's a chairman and who's taken over, he literally lets me run with it. There's no pressure. Even I'm talking like season number 1.
Yeah.
Like, do you need help? No, fine, good, right. Win, lose, draw, constantly. Knock at door. Bottle of red there. Don't worry about last night. Like really supportive.
Yeah.
Totally supportive. The polar opposite what I used to be at like Worksop, where it was like pressure, win. If you don't, you're gonna lose your job. And I think having that like reassurance of being supported, I think that comes out of yourself. We are like lads know. I'm not saying I'm unsackable or I'm untouchable. Like this is my land, but lads know like chairman backs me a little bit. Like if he loses 2 or 3, there's no pressure.
Yeah,
like,
that's good for confidence for everybody though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because then lads are thinking we're in it for all.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on thinking. A lot of lads will get used to playing for you.
Yeah.
And if you go, inevitably, if 2, 3, 4, 5 will either follow to where you've gone to, or they might just think I'm not playing for whoever comes in.
Yeah.
That's football, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it must be nice as a player to go see that sort of relationship and think, I think chairman's got us back here, like, you
Yeah.
know, which is great. It must be great, and
I also,
just relieve a bit of pressure, like, you know.
I also think it makes them phone calls easier
It does.
when you've been with somebody 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And not just because you've been successful this year, but if you just stayed in that and you go, well, you just have the same money this time. Yeah, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
One day we're back pre-season.
Absolutely.
You've got up, done well, right? We know there's a little bit.
I've not had any of them conversations, have you?
What's that?
Are we alright for saying money next season?
Just a given, innit?
Oh, so we've gone step 5 to step 4. You alright for saying money?
I've only ever had a conversation about money with Stocksbridge when I was assistant manager to Daz Schofield there. I was still playing at the time.
Yeah.
And Hallam FC called us in and we'd come 5th bottom, I think.
Yeah.
We had a 8 season, not budget what it were. I said to Scott, I hope he gives a little bit more this year, so a bit more competitive. So I'm going to ask for it.
Yeah.
You know, he says, 200 or 300 quid more. It'll be 25 a year, 25 a year, it'll keep players like. Went in and Bethel went, right lads, I'm going to give you a budget for relegation. Fucking took 600 quid off me. 1100 quid. 1100 quid for like step 3.
Wow.
And we got that sound for years at the time. He'll talk about it fondly, like, because we had a great group of lads. Couldn't win fucking football matches. We had a good group of lads, yeah.
Boozers.
But yeah, well, obviously we went down that season, but it was like, do you know, like when you go in thinking, fuck, I did alright there, 5th bottom on that.
Just a bit.
And then you get 500-600 quid took off, and it was like,
Well,
where do we go from here?
We had, the target was like, can we get out of Northern Counties Division 1 within 3 seasons? And obviously we did it straight away. So and then we had that season in between. Obviously this year started really poorly, like you said, like not just didn't hit the ground running.
Yeah, I think going just as you said there a couple of minutes ago, because you've gone up.
Yeah.
At a canter.
Yeah.
Crowds have also gone up with it as well. Then you sort of solidify yourselves in that next season. Even though there's no pressure on you, but because you said like with crowds building in any day and age as well, that everybody's got a social media account.
Yeah.
It only takes one bad negative thing to then have a snowball effect.
Yeah. Which what a couple of supporters did start doing that.
Yeah.
I know I joke about Denton now, but there was a few going like, oh, we've gone up now.
Even after being so successful.
Yeah, you know what?
You missed his account.
It was hashtag. Problem is with me, I concentrate on those 3 negative people and like those 600 people who are doing like there's so many supportive people in this football club, but those 2 or 3 who might say something negative is the ones who I concentrate on. I'm like, nah.
Unfortunately, in this business, there's always going to be.
Of course.
I hope there's 4 or 5 people though that come up now and go,
oh yeah, and there was.
That helps.
Yeah, it does.
That helps because people are paying the money and they can be as negative as they want to be. I suppose it's what we're in, but there's no more appreciation when actually you've done well and someone comes and says, "Oh, we're wrong."
Yeah.
And so then
Oh,
you're at club.
I'll get you a bit.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
In fact,
But I think that.
the Hallam bottle.
But I think like I wonder about fans. That can be a detriment to you guys in terms of when we've brought our sides here. They're right up for it.
Yeah.
Right up for it because there's 1,500 people in.
Good.
Yeah, and
So everybody does that.
Yeah. So I sort of had that with workshop where we had literally every game's a cup final. I'm not saying that workshop with a creme de la creme and everybody loves workshop and wants to beat them, but like when people see a bit of success, people come here and they go, oh look at state of the pitch, and then you've got all supporters banging the drum, singing along. You get an extra 10-20% out of the lads, don't you?
You do.
Yeah.
You do, because there's been no more than I wanted to do as an opposition player than to stick one in from a set piece and get in front of that end.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
It's brilliant. We've seen it. Why wouldn't you? It's the best thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're scoring in front of someone that's calling me a fat bastard for 25 minutes, like, there's no better feeling, especially when there's 300 of them saying it, so you're going to give a bit back. But like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like Albion, for instance, they might have 70, 80. Yorkshire amateurs used to have 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And you used to get there, especially if it were midweek dance, it used to be a bit like,
How do you get that?
how do you get,
Motivation.
nobody around, might be a little bit different because we're at clubs that travel well, support.
Lights were off.
Yeah.
Like knocking on the door, is it, are we up?
Whereas like if you've been to work, and even, I know we're local to you, but even if you've got Barton coming here, or Tadcaster coming here, or Silsden coming here, if you've been at work all day and you're thinking, oh yeah, I've got to travel to Hallam to meet, you get here,
floodlights on.
floodlights on, you sit in changing room, what lads come up.
Yeah.
Manager does his talk, you come out to warm up and there's 400 or 500.
There's a bit of buzz.
Yeah.
400 or 500 in like half an hour, 40 minutes before kick-off.
Oh, I fancy this to me.
Absolutely. And we've been there, haven't we? How many times has it happened where you've gone and gone, I feel a bit lethargic, I don't feel up for this. Fucking hell, we're in a game, yeah?
Yeah.
A proper game.
Proper game.
I always say my best game of football I ever played, Telford away. 1700 there.
Yeah.
We mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Banging on.
Yeah.
There's drums.
Yeah.
Oof, I fancy a bit of this.
Yeah.
Whether that's just that mentality of me as a player, I'm going to dig in and I'm going to let them have it.
Yep.
But
It will, it's just automatically it does. And that's what I'm saying, like, so.
To get up on that as well.
Absolutely, because whether you're playing here, yes, you've got your fans behind you, and I've no doubt that they've pulled you through games.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, you face a different animal because of it.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah. Well, like we Sheffield FC, Stocksbridge in Senior Cup, like what an atmosphere, electric, and like
flares and all sorts of
flares, and like you think, it's been.
Would you put? I'm going to ask you a question now because I think this year you just went about your business, didn't you? When probably a lot of people are going.
Because that's going to lead on.
Quite well, just go about your business, win your games, and again, I think you went on a very similar run to your workshop time, which got you up again. This time a bit more difficult for you because you had playoffs to get through.
Yeah.
And two good sides in playoff as well.
Very good sides.
You know. But I'm going to ask you a quick question. I know we workshop step 6 to step 5 promotion we had them all this year. Best one. Best achievement. Tough, isn't it?
I would have to say probably Hallam.
This year.
Because I thought you learn from a lot of mistakes, don't you? In terms of how you conduct yourself as a manager person. That NCL Prem workshop was unbelievable, and that probably got me opportunities and jobs elsewhere. But this one, like, really started in terms of like foundation, like it's a fresh start, a new build. And I thought I've had a lot of involvement both on and off the pitch to achieve something. So it probably
a bit more personal.
Yeah. I thought you might have gone step 6 to step 5. Just because the club were on this upward curve with supporters, but you still got to deliver, and then it were like, bang, we have done.
Yeah.
And got them back probably where they should be. Oldest ground in the world, is it?
Yeah, oldest ground in the world, yeah.
Back up into step 5.
Yeah.
Well, I've always known of step 5.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be like, so I thought you might have gone that one just because like we're back now amongst some bigger and better sides and a better league. No disrespect to Division 1 because there's some good sides in that one as well. But
do you think this one a bit sweeter because of where you were at Christmas time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
I just didn't see it coming. Like honestly, didn't see it coming.
And then footballing circles.
Yeah.
Will it be?
Not give your secrets away. Did you change it? Or were you just true to what you've always been and how you played, and did the lads just deliver?
I had to get rid of 1 or 2 eggs.
I think South touched on it, didn't he? And he said, beginning of the season, well, maybe we're in a squad of 20 to 22-ish.
Yeah.
Then also then went 16 to 18.
Yeah, totally changed.
And it was just settled.
Group lads that got on and want to win for each other.
And it's really easy for someone to say, you know, like, we've lost a couple of games, but I'm sticking with it, which I did.
Mm.
And sometimes you could lose another couple of games and you go, I'm not sticking with it.
Yeah.
And I sort of did. Yeah, like Southie, we put Southie up top in the front three. That changed, really changed the dynamics. Yanni Lipka got really fit, played the deeper midfield three, absolute Rolls Royce. Rio, obviously, an epic season. He continued. He had a lot of interest from football clubs, which sort of like maybe knocked him a little bit for a week or two.
It's gonna.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
But no disrespect to Hallam.
Yeah.
But when obviously he's gone on the side of Scarborough, huge football club. Huge.
That's it's in there, isn't it, in your head?
Yeah. And we've heard, haven't we, as we've said, and other people have said, other clubs. We've heard of 4 or 5 Conference North teams that were knocking on door.
Yeah.
So it's going to affect you.
Of course it is. Yeah.
I'm surmising there might be a couple of league clubs looking at him.
Definitely.
What he was delivering, like, in terms of his goals to games
Hopefully
and that.
for Laddie does
really well.
Goes and kicks on again, and then there is that interest.
So it was just more about
tinker a few little bits.
Yeah. But not like ridiculous.
No, there were no like head loss sort of, no panic stations, because really, like, again from the club, there weren't that pressure to go up.
No.
And the lads knew that. Like, I'd say that story. I said, oh, look, we're all right. Like, if we finish 8th, 9th, 10th, we're all right. And they believed me. Whereas sometimes you get managers going, I'm under no pressure. Don't worry about that. And they go, you are. You are.
Yeah.
You're done in 2 games, mate.
Yeah.
So that, and it was just about that consistency and like I said, 1 or 2 moved on, brought 1 or 2 players in, like Brody Litchfield. Be like, really. Just James Cadman, like just different level.
Alfie to allow Sophie to go up there, Sharman and
And it is, isn't it? But again, it goes back to that pressure then. The social media side of things. I can go on where an Hallam update or an Hallam tweet or anything in it all the time, and then that's building, it's building. So when it gets to playoffs, and it's hard, isn't it? Because you were close to going straight up, and I think you only because Silverton were very strong.
Probably if it went on 2 or 3 weeks longer, you probably would have.
Yeah, we had that momentum. We thought we would have.
You're making the same smudge with that social media, because it'll be a volunteer on that social media, which they're absolutely worth the waiting though. We know we all agree on that, and they're promoting the football club in the right way, in the right manner, and they're bringing attention to it, and that's gathering pace with supporters and everything that comes with it. I'm all for it. But the pressure drops for you, doesn't it? It's like, and you can't say because you won't want it any other way, because they're there to promote the club. And if we didn't have people like that, we'd be screwed.
And I think it's really good bits that they've done away from the club. Obviously, massive universities and a lot of students areas that come up and watch, and the amount of people I see that Hallam's my adopted club or things like that, or I'm not.
To have them attendances in our league.
I'm not travelling home this weekend because I'm going to stay and watch Hallam.
We've had like coaches from like Malta. We've had like a minibus from Germany in back car park sleeping for a few nights. We've had just like there's like loads of traction for like I guess not necessarily a Hallam supporter. You can just be like a
footballer
support.
I think with yourselves, I know there's that rivalry. With them being the oldest football club, this being the oldest football ground, a lot of people want to visit both.
Of course,
and do both. And
it's good. When you played each other, it was like tickets went through the roof.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I don't. They were like Villa here doing an interview with ITV or Calendar or whatever, and I just like literally looked around and like, there's about 2,500 people.
It's great, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because obviously the reason we do this podcast is to just share these stories, non-league, and how good non-league is, and we've seen it firsthand with Rio, how much talent's in non-league as well.
Loads of talent. But also I think it's, as a supporter, like people are getting a little bit sick and tired of being like ripped off from like pro clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
We've said that with like my living. He got season ticket at Barnsley.
Yeah.
He hates winning Barnsley matches.
Yeah.
Because it's there.
Yeah.
The picture's there.
Yeah.
They hear everything.
There's
they
no-
see everything.
yeah.
They can hear us when we've won bouncing with music on. They can hear us when
Because
we've
it
lost and been slaughtered. They go
Everybody's in
back.
bar together.
Yeah. Where so you know your supporters, you can sit and have a conversation and a beer after it.
He doesn't even have to do it. Say, doesn't have to do it. Your team does it.
No.
You know, I mean, how many times have you come to Penistone or we've come here and your supporters talking to you, Hallam supporters, like, you know, we got next week, lads, and it's great. Like, you know, and there's a lot of good people in one league, but like we were saying, in terms of the social media side, great, aren't they? I said to them on Saturday, you killed us there. Because they'll put something on. I think they did it with us. We had a good run towards end of last year, and we beat Silsden at home. We were 2-0 down. We beat them 3-2, and put it back in his own hands to get in playoffs.
Go on, what
And it was sort of like, can we?
Can we do it?
Can we do it? And I'm like,
Law of averages.
I'm like thinking,
No.
Stop.
we've still got Knaresborough, Albion, and all these good sides to think, and I'm thinking, of course, then you stumble, and what comes in then is like a lot of negativity.
Of course. Yeah.
Where's your tweet? Yeah, like,
It's hard, and they have on it. And
Yeah.
It's good for the club.
brilliant football.
So after just missing out on that promotion, obviously finishing second, 83 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
That finished, which is a great total.
Yeah.
That's when then money's you get what you pay for in it yourself. How do I motivate these lads now to get back in, get their heads back in for playoffs?
Yeah.
Luckily, they come around quite quick, don't they? Fancy yourselves here when you're here, knowing, or is there always that seed doubt?
Well, obviously we beat Beverley here
Massively, didn't it?
7-0, I think it was. After we beat, I think it was Silsden 5-1 or something like that. It was. So like we were mega confident. We lost to them 2-1, I think, away. Don't get me started on that game because referee, wow. I've got a lot of time for David Carney as well.
Yeah,
And
seen there was a picture this week, weren't you, together?
yeah. And they're 2-0 up, and literally like, do you know when you want someone to just like swallow you up? Just didn't expect it.
No.
I didn't expect it, and rightly so. They, you know, Ricardo's high-fiving there, lads. Come on, only 45 minutes left, lads. Only 45 minutes left. And I said to Paul, just stand out here a minute. Let's have a minute. Right, what we're doing when we go in there now at half time? Because I'm ready to get them because it's embarrassing. Like everyone's turned up. Today's the day.
Yeah. 2 cup finals
And
left.
I've gone, right, we're giving it them. And I walked in, I went, I'm not giving it them. I just like stopped and went, right, what do we need to do to get back in this game? Paul leads a lot of the technical stuff, so he led it all. And lads are like, we're all right. Get a goal, we're sound. We've been in this position before. And I'm like, I think we're going to be all right, you know. I think, you know, like, next goals changes it, all that stuff.
The old 2-0's the worst score.
Yeah, it is.
It did though, didn't it?
It did. Yeah.
You know, true word spoken.
Yeah, absolute magic.
Early doors.
Yeah.
48 or something.
7:48, something like that.
Which helps.
Boom, totally helps. And then it was us. They had a few chances. Don't get me wrong. They could have.
Did you go a little bit good more and think we've just got to get back into this?
Yeah.
So left yourself a little bit
Sort of
more
managed-
open than you wanted to.
More open. We still managed our like emotions and I was like really mindful, like cautious on the sideline. Going, right, we're losing 2-0 here. We can't be all guns blazing when that whistle goes for the second half because they'll. I think that's what like sort of like what happened to Beverley a little bit, like because they conceded that goal and it's huge, isn't it? Like and they were everyone was like, you could see it in the players. You can see it like, well, we're being dicked here 7-0, like nice 2-1. Like you just had that feeling.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to penalties, which is just a lottery. Yeah, loads. I was quite confident, to be honest.
They both got to penalties. Did Thackley with pens or did you beat Thackley?
We beat Thackley.
Yeah.
Beat Thackley, and then lad's gone to Penenka.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
And like, I was speaking to a few of their players after the game, and they were saying, we tried that in training midweek and scored, and all lads went, brilliant goal, but
Don't try to
don't do that.
Don't.
And he did it.
And you guys just stood there.
And you stood there, bosh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
I'm
But
not,
he didn't even know. He didn't even know that was that we won the game. So Hugo thought there was another.
You're going to score.
We had to score.
Yeah.
So he goes like that. Oh, everyone's on pitch, and then he celebrates it.
Yeah.
And then
Dave said about
and he didn't say anything to me, but literally, management team was running on, chairman, supporters, and I just went up to Ricardo, David, and just like give him a big cuddle and like literally had like 30 seconds with him because I thought it's like that feeling of
This
losing that
season, all that season,
awful.
That kick.
2-0 up.
Yeah.
Going back to 2-2, right, we're into pens. Because there were no extra time, went straight to pens or?
Straight to pens.
Yeah.
Straight to pens. And
It's a shit, mate.
literally had like 30 seconds with it, and I and then in my head were thinking, we've done it. Step 4 now. What's that going to happen? Who am I going to keep? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Didn't just enjoy my night, mate.
Didn't
Not
you?
one bit.
No.
I mean, you'll see photos. I'm like, yeah, celebrating with trophy. I had a couple of beers after the game, and we went out a little bit. And I'm just thinking to myself, is that the best thing that could have happened to this football club? I'm not sure. It obviously is because we're step. I'm just thinking to myself like,
We were going now.
where we're going now? Where's the expectations? Yeah. So it was a strange one.
Yeah, is that just you though? Just how you
Probably
are?
is,
Is that
yeah.
just you how you are? Just thinking,
Yeah.
job done.
I can't sort of live it moment.
But surely you must have had a. You must have done have sat back though since then and gone, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Some achievement.
But like there's no rest is there now.
No.
It's like you don't phone to players again.
And of course,
so-
your season went on with your cup as well.
Yeah.
You know, you've understood, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
We're until weeks ago since you played with us.
Literally.
We discussed that off camera, didn't we? Then, right, we've got up, promoted. Now we've got a big cup final to come. But it's not for another 3 weeks.
Against a really poor side.
Really.
Oh, that was the best one. Pulse. I think after there were what 1 or 2 games left, and obviously we knew that we got workshop in final, and he just goes to the lads, right, come on then. He says, by the way, all the best against Workshop Town in a couple of weeks. They're not bad, are they? And like everyone like we have got a right game on our hands against a good strong Workshop Town.
Yeah.
Town
We're
team.
obviously celebrating as well. They've gone up, haven't they?
Yeah.
What I will say to Paz on that though, they have treated that cup with some respect.
Oh,
We
they have.
played them,
Yeah.
and they went.
This time last year, obviously, handed them,
Yeah.
but they did.
They played 7 or 8 that played on Saturday against us on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah,
Cup.
yeah.
And they treated with respect. The rest of the lads all won.
Winners, aren't they? They won.
Yeah,
They won.
winning,
Yeah,
they were just
they won. But you did well against them, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Honestly,
better than you thought
yeah.
after that break as well.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
thinking to myself, well,
Massive pitch.
big pitch, athletic. They're a proper outfit.
They like to
aren't they?
pass it, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
And we just said like we're going to let them pass it. We're just going to drop off, and they popped it about a bit, and they hurt us a bit at times. But we were coming at half time 1-0, and we were just like, right, brilliant. Just keep that going. I think they got Sheffield United game on. I think on screen in changing room at half time, checking the score, and we just settle it down like just enjoy tonight, just enjoy tonight.
Yeah.
But do me a favour, if we can score a goal, I'd love it if I just turn around and see all Hallam supporters like that would mix, and when we score, I like that'll do me. 1-1, whatever happens now.
Penalty.
Well, this
decision.
yeah, it's a
Keep
penalty.
on the council.
Keep up, you don't start me. And then to concede, and then to think, do you know what? We'll just take it to penalties, and what a lot because it'll go straight.
Yeah.
So we're thinking, like, literally, it's a coin toss in it, heads or tails, someone's going to win. And at 88th minute, they're smashing it back in net, and you just see that quality. But I was really gutted. I'd rather be beat 3 or 4-0 than actually take them to wire and go, we've got a chance here. But I love what an evening that was. It was really good.
2,500 then, wasn't it?
Well, the county FA said it was 2,500, but I know what that stand holds, and there were more people there. It were packed. It were packed. I think they got the numbers wrong. I think they need to be check the bean count. But
so Sheffield Wednesday fan as well. Obviously working there.
Sheffield Wednesday fan sort of fell out of love really with
I mean, just as a fan, somebody who's worked there to lead your team like
it was brilliant.
It's always great that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always great that. And I feel a bit sorry for other people in different regions when there's no respect on them county cups.
Yes.
So a lot of them play
young lads or whatever.
And I think that the reason why that Sheffield and Hallamshire Cup's so good is because it means a bit to all clubs that's in it. But the fact that you can lead your team at a programme and it's a proper night out for your supporters.
Proper night. I mean, I think there's been some highlights where like Hallam's, you can hear lads are warming up and you can hear Hallam fans turning up on Penistone Road with drum and stuff like that. And you think that is brilliant. It's their night out.
It's as close to that.
Fans break his finger or something, celebrate.
Yeah. Went to A&E, broke his finger. But like, do you know what I mean? Like my mum and dad are massive Sheffield Wednesday fans, and you know, lose my wife. And
it's brilliant, isn't it?
Like today, you're so proud. You feel so proud, and you're like.
And it comes back all the way, like I say, you know. But actually, during a game, you can't remember being there, can you?
No.
Because you're that in focus on the game, you could be here, couldn't you?
Yeah, and I think it's the quickest game I've ever
been. You don't get a chance to actually realise
because you want to enjoy it. It's literally like ref blocks middle, kicks off, pop, and it's like you sort of don't want it to end.
Yeah, it's like wedding day.
I
know I've been there, but I can't remember it.
Like that.
When I first played at Bramall Lane, like I walked out to it, I thought, I never thought I'd play on this pitch, unbelievable. And I used to have a season ticket there. And this is great. And you're walking around at Ledger, it's a white and foot game, and you go in, every team talk, you come out, you could have been anyway. Could not wreck. And it was like, it's done, gone. And like you said, you don't get the chance to actually appreciate that where you've been playing in. So like for us, it's like I suppose a pro side going to Wembley, innit, and having that atmosphere and, you know, being there. Hillsborough, Bramall Lane, New York Stadium, because it should have been at New York.
Should have been in New York.
Then all the stars printed up in the for New York.
Oh yeah. We had Hallam versus Worksop Town at Easel Stadium.
Cheers.
Cheers. You'll watch a game, won't you? You'll put a game on telly. And there's nobody cramps up. The player will do the cramp up.
Yeah.
You've watched 38 North East Counties game, right? Yeah. Nobody's cramped up. Play on Hillsborough. Start comparing after an hour. And I don't know if it's the
magic,
the build up of the day,
or just got pictures.
I always think as well though, because it's end of season, it's slightly warmer in it. I think that's part of it as well.
And lads have probably both sides, Worksop and Hallam, have probably had a fair few sherbets.
With a couple of weeks off.
So just before we end, mate, because I know we're short on time. Looking forward to next year. Different challenge, different grounds, different.
Really looking forward to it.
Should be rocking down here, should it?
Yeah.
I imagine as well, since you're in there with Worksop, and I know obviously it didn't work out with Worksop as well, but there'll be a lot of different clubs in there as well, won't there?
Yeah.
A lot of different grounds, like you said.
Bus on from club this year, do you reckon? Away games.
Got to play.
Lads travelling in together.
Got Farsley, Dunstan, Blythe Spartans, Blythe Town.
So about 6 or 7?
6 or 7.
Newton Aycliffe,
Eaton, Stallington, like Redcar. So there's
fair few.
But I said to our lads, like, we've got to embrace that. Like, I know we've got a few lads who have played at that level before.
Absolutely.
Like, you're in the game to do as best as you can and win promotion, and like I'm like,
Yeah, lads are
What
going
we what we're doing if we're not doing it. For that.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah, if we're not bothered about doing it, we're not bothered about going and experiencing that together. Well, we might as well have just fucking tossed it off and come 15th.
exactly. So I'm looking forward to, you know, having a full season at step 4.
What it does bring you that dense is potentially 10, 11 really good journeys home, mate. Doesn't it? That gets you. That gets you 2 or 3 stumbling off that stairwell, done it on coach in car park.
Yeah. Lads are all practising now their dealing skills.
There'll be some money lost, mate. Or there'll be some karaoke sang or something like that. So.
What's the nearest game to you? Obviously Chef Club's come out and it stops.
Stockton's would have been good, wouldn't it? Like,
would have been good. We've got Ossett, Brighouse.
Yeah.
So again, really good.
Yeah.
Strong sides.
But it's nice, but you know, your supporters get to go into other football clubs and see the grounds.
Just raise it profile again, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And
I dare say I'll add 20 or 30 on him. Yeah. At least.
Well, the away sides will bring more, won't they?
Yeah.
You know, so there'll be what once were probably 20 or 30 coming, there'll be probably 80, 90, 100 from some clubs.
I just want to see if we can try and get those supporters to go and support us away as well.
Yeah.
Because that's.
Is it something we're looking at, like in
away
travel and things? And
try and encourage as many whatever we can in terms of like putting transport on and coaches and stuff. But looking forward to it. Really am.
Well, good luck, mate, from me. Enjoy it. I'm sure you will do. We'll try and get up and watch a couple of games because obviously I've got some good mates who are in your squad anyway. So we'll try and get up and watch a couple of games.
Before as well, because I think now as you go into that league now, it's Saturday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Saturday, Tuesday.
We'll definitely get up to a game.
We'll get up to a game and
it'll
be a couple of good games.
Top man, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Cheers.